Hi, my name is Lane. I am a merch designer and illustrator, and in today's video, I'm going to be taking 3 different drinks, 3 different animals, and combining them together. Jumping right into it, we are starting off with the sketching process. The first idea that came to mind when I wanted to do this was to combine orange juice with an orange cat, because I definitely don't have enough orange cats represented in my work, so this one was very straightforward for me. I've really been into making Pinterest boards for like characters and illustrations I want to make, and that really helped, especially with this whole trio of little guys. I knew obviously I wanted to include an animal and a drink in each illustration, but I also decided to add little decorative details as well. So for this, that is the half-cut orange as well as the orange juicer. And now we are starting on the line art. If I got an orange cat today, I would absolutely name them Tangerine or Clementine, so this is pulled right out of my head, honestly. As for the cup, when I think of drinking orange juice, I think of doing it early in the morning in a glass cup, so that's what I went with this little kitty. One of the great things about using Pinterest again is that it's really helping me build my visual library, which if you aren't familiar with what that means, it's just the collection of how you see different things in your mind and what comes to your mind when you think of a visual for certain objects. So like the very base foundation of a visual library for something like this, when you think of a glass, it might literally just be a glass, no detail, just a cylinder. But I saw a cup that looked like this on Pinterest and added it to my visual library, and now I'm drawing that here. And here we're starting on the colors. This part was also pretty straightforward. I knew the oranges were going to be orange and the cat was going to be orange. I did look at a reference though to make sure I wasn't just drawing a plain orange cat, which is what I normally do. I like for people to have their pets shown in my art, so I like to change things up and have some variety so I'm not just drawing the same type every single time. Here I decided to go with an orange tabby, but I gave it some lighter white cream colored spots on its mouth, chest, tail, and little paws. Which is not one that I have drawn before, I don't think. I have done plain orange and orange with like a lot of white, but not really this sort of in between. If this happens to look like your cat, let me know. And now we're starting on the shading, which was especially fun on this piece because of course liquid has so many shadows and lights and reflections on it, and fruit kind of does as well since it's usually so like juicy. Orange is not one of my favorite colors, so I don't use it a ton. Getting to use it in a very orange piece was very fun. And all of the detail I got to add in like the glass and the juice and the fruit was also a nice challenge. Throughout like high school and a lot of college, my art style was very based in realism. Then when I realized I wanted to do more cutesy simple art, I swung the entire different direction and it was very simple. Flat colors, no line art. So I spent the last couple of years really trying to hone in on a nice combination, sort of like what you see here, where it is simple and cute, but it's also very detailed, at least with the shading. And I've been getting closer and closer to what I want my art to be, and it's very exciting. At this point in the piece, I am adding in the highlights after I got pretty much done with the shading. As always, this part of the process is my absolute favorite, making sure to add in some reflective light, especially on the leaves, the fruit, and the glass. Then I went in and I made sure that the glass detail popped a little bit, as well as like the liquid inside. Since there are so many layers involved there, making them sort of stand out from each other is pretty important. And of course I have to add some sparkles. And that one's done. I'm so happy with how it turned out. Up next, I really wanted to challenge myself with the other 2 animals of this trio, since the first one was a cat, something I draw literally all of the time. A lot of my followers and people in my Discord are constantly asking me to draw more sea creatures, and I figured this would be a really good opportunity, so this is going to be a strawberry milk shark. I have drawn a shark once or twice before. I currently have a shark sticker in my shop, but it definitely is out of my comfort zone, which you can probably see as I struggle with the sketch of its face. Out of the 3 drawings, this one by far gave me the most trouble. It was just kind of an awkward placement of the head and the fins. I did eventually end up with a final result that I'm happy with, but we have to get there first. Finishing the sketch up, it is time for the line art. Similarly with the orange juice piece, my visual library, without looking at Pinterest, would have been extremely limited. I probably would have just drawn it in a glass and put pink liquid in there and been done. But because I had references, I added this sort of lace cover to the bottle that I saw, as well as added actual strawberry at the bottom of the bottle. And overall, it's a lot more detail than I would have been able to come up with on my own. As for the little side details on this piece, I saw a photo of a sort of ceramic strawberry carton, so I wanted to include that and have some actual strawberries similarly to the last piece. I thought it would be cute if the shark was kind of munching on the green leafy top of the strawberry. And then I got into the face, which is the part of this that I struggled with the most by far. I ended up redrawing it quite a few times. But this is exactly why it is good to draw things that you are uncomfortable with as far as your skill and technique goes. Because now, when I draw a shark next time, I'll be just a little bit better. Plus, it was worth it for the undersalt. At this point, I was okay with the face, but the fin, I wanted it to be in view, but you wouldn't be able to see it based on where the shark was, so I moved them. And I continued playing around with it a little bit, redrawing lines here and there. Same with the eyes. But finally, I was done with the line art. The color of the drink was pretty set with it being strawberry milk, so that's what I started with. This was also a very fun piece to color in, kind of for the opposite reason of the orange juice cat, because this color is my absolute favorite, like the color of strawberry milk. That is my color. I decided to make these strawberries sort of a rich, deep pink on this one. I knew I wanted this to be a strawberry milk shark because I liked the idea, but obviously sharks are not pink, and I wanted the animal to visually match with the drink. So I decided for this one, I would just make the shark pink to make it match because I thought it was cute. I wish sharks looked like this, but they don't, and in the end, I'm happy with it anyways. I figured since I was already breaking the rules by making the shark pink, I was gonna make it extra pink and add little darker pink hearts all over it. With that done, I moved on to the shading. I decided to shade the little strawberry crate with pink, but the bottle with green, since that was the biggest area of the piece without it. Also, I forgot to mention, I decided to add some floating bit up strawberry pieces underneath the shark since that area was empty, and I thought it kind of added a cute little character aspect. Considering how much I struggled at the sketch and line art phase of this piece, I ended up really happy with how it turned out. I started to add the final highlights to the piece, including the little white line to sort of separate the objects from the foreground, midground, and background. Added some detail to the little hearts on the shark. While I think the orange juice kitty would definitely be named Tangerine, please let me know what you would name this guy. Names is like the one thing that I struggle to come up with, mostly because I just have so many characters. I decided to add a pink little string to the bottle, some sparkles, and then it was done. So happy with it. And our final piece and sketch, last but certainly not least, is the one in the thumbnail, my little Matcha Crocodile. This is also one that is very much outside of my comfort zone. Similarly to the shark, I have only drawn an alligator or a crocodile one other time, I'm pretty sure. And on top of that, I've never had matcha, I don't make it, so I don't really even know what the little tool is called for it. But I decided to add that aspect to the side details. That little tool as well as a bowl of the powder. Here we are with the line art, and even though this was also outside of my comfort zone, compared to the shark, this one was an absolute breeze. The shape, the face, how cute it was, just totally made sense. Unfortunately, I did lose this little part of my screen recording, which is why it's kind of shot differently. I had to pull from my Procreate time-lapse. For whatever reason, my iPad does this weird thing sometimes, which you will see in a few minutes, where if I touch my hand to the screen while I'm drawing, it makes these lines. And it was getting very annoying, so I had to reset my iPad, and that caused the footage to be lost. So hopefully it's not too jarring, I guess. As mentioned, this one was just such an easy piece overall. I decided to go with pink accents since that is the complement color to green. I added a ribbon to the cup, some little tulip flowers to the background to add a bit more pink. And for the cup, I went with the trendy sort of cup you see on like TikTok, especially for matcha, I think. And I made the bowl holding the powder kind of like a handmade clay bowl. Like the others, the shading on this was super fun. Well, you know, other than this issue my iPad was having, this is the point where I was fed up and I restarted my iPad, but at least we're back to the normal footage. Adding in the white little highlight. Unfortunately, I had to turn the canvas quite a bit since there were so many curves to this piece especially. It's really hard for me to pick a favorite piece out of them because I like all of them for different reasons, but I really like this one. The sort of pale green and pale pink combos are one of my favorites, and I'm like especially happy with how the crocodile turned out. I think he is cute in just all of the right ways. But we are pretty much to the end of this one. Here is the final. If you watched to the end, thank you so much. Please let me know what you would name these 3 in the comments. I've been having so much fun making these videos. Hope you enjoy watching them, and I will see you in the next one.